Chatters, chatties, welcome home for a Great American Chat, a podcast where we chat about great American media. I'm Chad Maurice, and Cricket is here, even though I wasn't sure she was going to be here because you got hit with some violent storm like a night or two ago, right?
Oh, it was ridiculous is what it was. I have been in tornadoes before, drills, sirens, whatever you want to call it, but
Uh huh.
the other night it was for like 4.5 to 5 hours straight of tornadoes coming through our area, or
Uh huh.
the wind 80 miles an hour around some places around us. So it was just very crazy, which, that in itself is really bad. But then when your power goes out
No,
and
yeah.
your sump pump stops working,
Uh
and
huh.
you're in the basement with your daughter, with candles lit, and then all of a sudden she says to you, "Mom, why is there water coming in the basement?"
Oh, jeez. Oh, jeez.
I'm like, "Oh, this isn't good. I prepared for everything else, but I forgot the rafts." See, yeah, I was
So
not ready for
your
that.
basement got flooded and you had no electricity.
Yes, and we were in like 4 or 5 times the sirens went off, and
Wow.
it was a crazy night because I feel like all the way from Arkansas all the way up to Indiana, up to I even think like Illinois, and that the storms were just everywhere. Like there was
Uh-huh.
tornado sirens going off at one point. I
Uh-huh.
think I saw in there like 25 of them.
Uh-huh.
And it's like I don't even know the total count of how many tornadoes like hit places that night. It was so much.
Uh-huh. Yeah, well, because you're in Indiana, I'm in New York,
Mhm.
and that same night when you were saying, "Oh, we're getting
Mhm.
tornadoes," um, we were getting a bad thunderstorm and lightning and rainstorm that same night.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was like all over half the country apparently.
Yeah. I was just glad we got the podcast in.
Yeah, we thought you were going to lose electricity in the middle of our
Yes.
podcast.
Had it been an hour later, I would have.
We would have needed county rescue to
Oh,
save you.
oh, for sure. Yeah. The emergency lights for sure.
Well, I want to thank you for doing this because I know I've this is the third episode we've done in a week. So you're
It's
probably
all
getting
good,
sick. You're
Chad.
probably getting sick of me.
No, not at
But
all, Chad.
bothering me to
Never.
do this. So
Nope.
we got some people in the chat here. Kat's here. Hey, Kat.
Hey, Kat.
Jay's here. Amanda Moon
Amanda.
is here.
Hey,
Hey,
Amanda.
Amanda. We got a newbie. No, sometimes she's here. Amanda, she said she's doing her homework, but can listen. You doing your homework or your kids' homework? You so this episode, I just came up with this idea, like Wednesday. I'm like, oh, it'd be cool if I did a recap of the first season to get people ready for the second season. Man, I should have thought of that earlier. So I just threw all this together last minute. It's not very organized. My notes are, I don't have a lot of notes on some of the episodes. I just wrote down some of the high points that happened. So I'm not going to talk about everything. And I got some screenshots, not a lot, but some like one or two from each episode. And I was up actually till 1 o'clock this morning working on this thing.
Oh, my goodness.
I know, because I was trying to get it done.
You were determined, Chad.
Yeah, because I had to go to work today, obviously. So, yeah. Oh, thanks, Kat. Yeah, see, I got my Mountie outfit. Well, Cricket has a Mountie outfit on too. You just
Little
can't see
t-shirt.
hers. All right, so let's get started here. So I'm going to go over the cast of characters on this show just to refresh. And the other reason I want to do this episode, I thought it'd be nice to refresh people's memories for people who haven't seen the show in like 4 or 5 years and maybe can't remember some of the storylines that were going on or some of the characters, or for people who have never seen the show and
Right.
they want to know something a little bit about it before it airs this Sunday night.
Mm-hmm.
So here's our cast of characters. We have Lillian and Grace. Lillian's the redhead, and Grace is the little cute brunette there in the upper left corner of the screen. They are sisters and they are orphans. Well, they were orphans. Well, I guess they still are orphans. They were orphans when they were kids, and they were sisters, and they live in this town called Brookfield. Gabriel, the Mountie, he's the town Mountie, and he is sweet on Lillian.
Mhm.
Tess down in the lower left, she's kind of the villain of this season and of this show. I mean, deep down inside, she's a good person, but she's a little rough around the edges, and she doesn't like the sisters. She does not like Lillian and Grace, and I'll tell you about more of that or why she doesn't like them. And then Chuck there is the town veterinarian, and he is Tess's son, and he's sweet on Grace. Wait. and then and then we have Ronnie, the guy with a little bandage on his nose there. He is Tessa's brother-in-law, and he owns the hotel in town. Well, let's see. Then we have Maggie. She is the nurse who arrives in town in the second episode. Next to her is Joe. He owns the general store. And then over on the right there with the suspenders is Sam. He is a gold prospector who comes to town in the middle of the season. So I'm gonna let me where my oh wait a minute, let me rearrange make the pictures a little bit bigger. There we go. All right, so the first episode is kind of like an introduction to the characters and kind of tells you a little bit about who they are and what their story is. We get a little backstory of Lillian and Grace. They are orphans, like I said, that were separated when Lillian was 7 and Grace was 5, and they got put into separate orphanages for some reason. Usually, I would think if you're orphans, they would try to keep, if you're sisters, I mean, they would try to keep you together, I would think.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I don't remember exactly what happened either.
Yeah, they never explained it. They just said that they were separated.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. So Lillian wound up being taken in by a family who lived in Brookfield, this town that they're in, and she grew up in the house where their orphanage is now. The house that you see in the upper right corner there, that picture. It's a huge house too.
Mm-hmm.
Look at
Very
the
big.
size of that thing. Can you imagine growing up in a house like that? Holy man!
No, because you imagine the chores that you'd have to do.
Yeah.
Cleaning those candlesticks would get quite a bit. There's quite a bit in there, I'm sure.
Uh-huh. Yeah, so Grace, she kind of went from orphanage to orphanage, and she has a little bit of a troubled past. It's mentioned in one of the episodes. I think it's mentioned that she got arrested. I think in one of the, or I don't know if she got arrested, but got in trouble with the law in one time. So Lillian searched for Grace for several years, and she found her when they were both adults, and she brought her to Brookfield here, and they're going to run this orphanage. And then Gabe, the Mountie, he arrives back in town. He got shot arresting a bank robber, and he was sent away to heal, and so he's coming back. And so Joe there in the picture there is welcoming him back in town. And he obviously hadn't met Lillian before because he introduces himself to Lillian when they meet.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Let's see. All right.
Jay, the love muscle is not in this episode.
No, the love muscle. Chris Russell, the love muscle, is
That's
not
right.
here.
I'm sorry, I just had to interject that.
So Ronnie is opening this new hotel, and we get a funny scene, at least I thought it was funny, where he's putting up this sign and there's no date on the sign. And Joe says to him, "There's no date on the sign. What day is this grand opening?" And Ronnie gets all mad and he goes, "Oh!" So he storms inside and he gets out a paintbrush and he writes the date on the sign, and they put the sign back up. And then it was either Joe or Gabe. One of them says, "So the opening is at 1 p.m." And Ronnie says, "No, it's 7 p.m."
Right.
And they said, "It
Yes.
looks like a 1."
Yes. So he takes it back down.
Oh, yeah, that was funny. And when we interviewed Chris Russell, the love muscle, he said that the guy who plays Ronnie, Neil Crone, is really funny. I mean, he's funny on this show, but he's also funny off
Oh, I bet. I can,
when the
yeah.
camera's not rolling. Yeah.
Hmm. I could totally see that.
Uh-huh. Yeah. So Grace buys a cow from Tess, and Tess sells her a cow that isn't producing milk because she doesn't like the sisters. And the reason she doesn't like him is because she blames Lillian's father for her husband's death. Tess's
Yes.
husband died while crossing a bridge that Lillian's father designed, and Tess thinks that the bridge had a faulty design.
Hmm.
So, oh, Kat said that was that was funny with the sign. Yeah, it
Hmm.
was. Tess's son Chuck comes and looks at the cow over at the orphanage. He pulls one of the cow's teeth out, and then the cow starts producing milk. Is that what happened? If I remember it right?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I think
I had a
that's yeah,
bad
I think
tooth.
yeah,
Hmm.
yeah. And I like this. I like this little scene here, the picture in the upper right. Um, what's her name? Grace looked so cute with the cow pulling the cow
Right.
behind the wagon. I thought that was
Yes.
yeah, that was funny. That was
And she was
that,
so proud of it too.
yeah. She
Like
was
she
so
was so
proud that
proud.
she bought this cow because she wanted to. Tess wanted like $10 for it or something, and she only had
Yes.
$8, so she talked
Yep.
Tess down into to selling
Yep.
her for $8. Yeah, so you're right. She was really proud of herself. Yeah. So Gabe finds out that someone has been stealing cattle, and oh, Mama Bear. Hey, Mama Bear, what's up? Oh, Mama Bear had a storm too in Tennessee, she says.
Hmm.
Yep, same for us, Tennessee. So thankful God protected us from what horrible tornadoes could have been. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Okay, so Gabe finds out someone in town's been stealing cattle. He's been stealing cattle from Tess and also from this other guy. During the grand opening party for the hotel, a fire breaks out, and the general store, the infirmary, and the cattlemen's association all gets destroyed. And this cattlemen's association is like this where they keep all the records of who owns the cattle
Hmm.
in town.
Yep.
So I was thinking, I wonder if this was like an actual fire
I don't
when they
know because
filmed
it looked
this.
real. It
It
looked
looked
pretty
real.
real.
I mean,
Yeah,
they
it really
must have,
did.
if it was real, they had to build these sets and then they like set them on fire and burn
Set
the
him on
set down.
fire. Right.
Yeah,
Yeah, because you're right. It looks so real. Like,
yeah,
I mean, I'm sure it was real, but what was it the real
uh-huh.
set is the question. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or was it just
Yeah,
like a fake
I
prop
guess
that they burned?
that must have been what they did. They just like probably built like the outer
The outer
part
pieces.
of the
Yeah.
buildings, but there's nothing behind them. They're just empty.
Right.
There's nothing. There's just a frame probably that they
Hmm.
just burnt down probably.
Yeah. It's a good scene though.
All right. Oh, I forgot to say that all happened in the second episode. Oh, let's go in the third episode. Oh wait, no. Oh, I screwed up. Oh no, that was in the. Oh, I'm sorry. See, I told you this would be disorganized. That all happened in the first episode. Yeah, okay, that all happened in the first episode. Okay, in the second episode, the nurse Maggie arrives, and she is a world traveler from England, and she has a nice thick British accent, which I like.
Hmm.
And I really like her character.
I do too.
I liked her throughout this entire season.
Yes. I like her
Yeah.
character too because she's medical. So,
Yeah. Oh,
I
yeah. Yeah.
top
Yeah.
spot for medical people.
And I'm glad when I heard that she was going to be coming back for the second season. I was
Yes.
glad because I wasn't sure if she was going to one of the ones coming back or not.
Right, right. No, I was
Yeah.
glad too.
Yeah. So Joe has decided to leave town since he no longer has a store. The town folk convince him to stay, and they either give him or they buy him this empty building that he's looking at so that he can open a
Hmm.
new store.
Yeah, I think the town all put money together to get it for him. I
Is
think.
that what they did? I don't know. I
I
don't.
think
It was
so.
never really explained. They just went in. They didn't went in this building and decorated it for him and
Hmm.
like fixed it up because it was kind of dilapidated a little bit inside.
Hmm. Yeah.
So that's like all the notes I had for the second episode because that's really all the really nothing much happened in the second episode really.
Hmm.
All right, so let's on to the third. Grace starts working for Ronnie at the hotel. Lillian tries to make amends with Tess by giving her an old photo of her,
Mhm.
Chuck, Tess, and Tess's husband. Tess looks at the photo and admits that those were happy times.
Mhm.
And then Gabe catches the guy who started the fire. And he's a ranch hand who works for Tess. He is
Mhm.
Tess's foreman.
Yes.
And he's the one that was stealing the cattle. And he started the fire by accident. He broke into the what is it, Cattlemen's Association building to
Mhm.
change the records, and he knocked
Mhm.
some lamp over or something and accidentally started the fire. So Tess is a little disappointed in him because she thought he was a good friend and had known him for several years. So she was taken a little bit back. Then
Yes.
in the fourth episode, Lillian finds out that the grandfather of one of her girls in the orphanage is looking for her, and that he is over in London. Oops, let me move us so that people see the pictures. There we go. And I thought this was a nice story. This whole story with trying to track
Yes.
down her grandfather and trying to get them back together.
Yes. Very
Yeah.
moving because I mean, can you imagine being a child and knowing you have a family member out there and
Uh
you
huh.
can't get to them?
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
I couldn't imagine. And very fortunate to have, have had my parents and not ever had to go through that. But
Uh huh.
I'm sure that happens a lot, with families.
Yeah. Yeah. So the bank robber that shot Gage is convicted, and when Gabe arrested him, he only had $5,000 on him, but $12,000 was stolen from the bank. So Gabe is wondering what happened to that other 7,000.
Mm-hmm. Sure is.
Now Tess is a little tricky in this episode. Tess is throwing a party at her ranch,
Oh
and
yeah.
she's having Ronnie cater it. She
Mhm.
tells Ronnie to have Grace come to help him, and she does this so that Grace will see Chuck with Lucy, an attractive
Mhm.
family friend who Tess wants to hook her son up with.
Mhm.
And Grace gets jealous when she sees Chuck talking to Lucy.
Yes.
So yeah, Tess was a little sneaky in this
Yeah,
episode.
she was a little sneaky, but also
Yeah.
because I think didn't Lucy and her talk about her son though a little bit too on the episode about how they've been growing up
Oh
together
yeah,
and
yeah. They've
all
known each
those
other,
things.
yeah, since they were
Yes.
kids. Yeah.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
at first I thought, oh, well, Tess is coming around. She's letting her come to the house so she
Ah.
can see Chuck. I'm like, yeah, this is great. She's really trying to open up now. And then we
Uh-huh.
find out, the reason why. And so,
Uh-huh.
yeah, I was a little upset about that too. I kept
Uh-huh.
yelling at the screen, uh, telling her, don't worry about it. He doesn't love her. He doesn't like her. You're good.
Yeah, she doesn't want Chuck taking any interest in Grace.
Yeah, none
Yeah.
whatsoever.
Yeah. Now in the fifth episode, let's see. Oh, okay, this was an interesting episode.
Mm-hmm.
So this inspector from Child
Yeah.
Services arrives in town to do an inspection on the orphanage, and he doesn't like Grace because of her background. He's done kind of like a little bit background check on her and find out she got a little shady background there. Sam arrives, and he is a gold prospector, and he's passing through town.
Mm-hmm.
There's a hole in the roof at the orphanage, and Lillian hires Sam to fix it while the prospector is there, and she pays him in room and board. And then Sam shaves. That's Sam up in the with the big beard. Um, he shaves to
Mm-hmm.
make a good impression for the inspector, and then you can see him cleanly shaven there at the bottom.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the inspector sees what a good job Lillian and Grace, what a good job that they do with the kids. So they wind up passing his inspection. But the inspector does not like Grace very much, so he says, "I'm keeping my eye on you."
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Sure does.
yeah,
So
yeah. I
this
like
is this is
what?
the same episode too when
Well, yeah, yeah. If I forget anything, go ahead and add in
Well, the
what I
one part
forget.
about this one that I want to point out is, Sam is like there to deliver something, and then she's like, "Oh, this is perfect." Like she wanted him to help because he happened to be there. So once he comes down, he's clean shaven and he's working up on the roof to help
Uh
her
huh.
fix the roof. That's when Chuck and Gabe come over to help.
Yeah.
Remember?
Uh huh.
And so they're
Uh
like,
huh.
"Who is this guy? Like, where
Yeah.
did he come from?"
Yeah.
Like, it was just
Yeah.
kind of funny to me.
Yeah.
Just funny.
And you can tell that Gabriel gets a little jealous with Sam being
Yeah,
there.
yeah, yeah. Hmm.
Yeah. So Ronnie, he gets beat up by a henchman of this crime boss named St. Clair, who Ronnie owes money to. So then Gabe spends the last half of this season trying to get this St. Clair guy and trying to figure out the mystery of this bank robbery.
Yep.
Now we are up to the sixth episode. Oh, okay. This made the When Calls the Heart fans happy.
Yes.
Nathan, the Mountie from Hope Valley over there on When Calls the Heart, he arrives to help Gabe track down a fugitive, a guy who robbed a train. Lillian thinks it might be Sam.
Hmm.
Nathan tells Lillian the guy is missing a finger on his left hand, and she says Sam has his left hand bandaged.
Yep.
So Sam left town for a few days to do some prospecting. Gabe and Nathan find dynamite in Sam's quarters, so they go after him and track him down. He takes off his bandage, and he has all of his fingers. So it turns out it wasn't him.
Nope.
Then Gabe finds and arrests the real robber, and then Sam is hurt by Lillian for thinking that he's a crook.
Yeah. But I
Yeah,
mean, she had to because she was only basing it on what she saw. You know what I
yeah,
mean? Even
oh
though
yeah,
deep down, I think she really thought it wasn't him, but
right,
the evidence was not in his favor. I mean,
right,
this
right.
wasn't.
Because when he arrived, he had a big beard like the guy in the picture.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, where was I? Let's see. What I was going to say. I thought this was an interesting story. I thought it added a little mystery to Sam and his character,
Hmm.
and it made you think twice about him, wondering, oh, is he a bad guy or is he
Right.
a good guy? Because at this point you don't know anything about him. You know?
No, I mean, he could
Yeah.
be a really good actor and be charming and smooth and still
Mm-hmm.
be a crook and a criminal. So yeah, you kind of don't know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You want to believe he's a good guy, but again, you don't know for sure because the evidence is stacking against him. I mean,
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Yep. So Tess wants Chuck to be her new foreman and run the ranch. But he is not interested. But Lucy wants the job. And
yeah.
Tess, I think, is a little reluctant to hire Lucy because she wants Chuck to be involved in the family business and the family ranch there. But he says, I'm a vet. That's what I'm doing.
Mm-hmm. That's exactly right.
Maggie thinks there's gold under her infirmary, and
Yeah, I love this part.
Joe helps her dig for it, but it turns out that it is nothing.
Yeah. But
Oh,
it
and they
wasn't
also
only,
they also involve that woman in town too.
yes.
Yeah, yeah,
Yes, that was so good because they kept hiding it, and then she's like, "I know you got something going on back there."
uh huh, yeah,
So they let her in on it.
yeah. They ripped up the floor of her infirmary for nothing.
Yeah. Well, didn't they say that before the infirmary was there, there was something there. I can't remember exactly what
Hmm.
was stated was
Yeah, I
there,
think they could have. Yeah, yeah,
but they had
yeah.
the gold there or whatever, and there was that
Hmm.
little piece of gold she found on the floor.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, yep. But I forget what it turned out to be. Was it copper or what was it? It wasn't gold, right? I forget what it was.
oh my
I don't
gosh, I don't
remember.
even remember either.
Yeah, I don't remember.
I don't know.
I
It kind
forget.
of reminded me though of on Little House on the Prairie. Do you remember when Laura and her friend they're like panning for gold and they start panning it in the creek
Uh
and they
huh.
find the fool's gold, remember? And then
Oh,
they sifted and sanded for days, and they had bags and bags of this fool's gold, and they thought they were going to be so rich. I think it was I think it was her and the was it the brother? It might have been, I can't remember. I was thinking it was her and the brother maybe. Or maybe it was Nellie. I can't even remember. But they, like I said, they took it all to the bank and they were so ready to be rich, and then the bank's like, I'm so sorry, it's fool's gold, and they were just so devastated. So it kind of reminded me of that scene.
Oh, there. Oh, thanks, Cat. Cat tells you
Oh
what it
yeah, the
was.
gold to say offs. Okay, that's what I
Yeah,
thought.
yeah,
I knew there had to be gold or something in there. I couldn't remember
yeah,
exactly
yeah.
how.
So I have to say, Maggie and Joe, I really like these two together.
I kind of do too. I do,
Yeah,
but don't know if that's how the cards play out, Chad.
I know, but I really enjoy their friendship.
Yes. Yeah,
Yeah,
they do have a good friendship.
yeah, they do. Yeah.
Hmm.
So Lillian, now we're into the seventh episode here. Lillian plans a birthday party for
Hmm.
Grace because she didn't have parties growing up in the orphanages, and she wants to show her how much she appreciates her and let her know that she has family who cares about her. Grace doesn't want to celebrate her birthday, so she helps Ronnie with a party at the hotel that night. So they wind up having her birthday party at the hotel. They bring all the decorations over there.
Yep.
Now, the bank robbery investigation continues. Gabe tracks down a guy who used to work at the bank. He tells Gabe that St. Clair was stealing money from the bank and he set up the bank robbery to cover it up.
Hmm.
Yeah, now we're getting into some good stuff here now.
Real quick before you go to
What?
the next episode.
Yeah, yeah, what?
So that last episode, I
Uh-huh.
really, really liked the present that that Lillian
Oh.
gave Grace. The music
Oh, yeah.
box.
It was it a music box? Is that what it was?
I think it was a music box, yes, and it was so sentimental to her, but
Right.
it was broken, and
Right.
so she gave it to Sam to fix for
Mm-hmm.
her, and Sam fixed it, and then made it all pretty, and she didn't think it was going to actually work,
Mm-hmm.
and
Right, right,
so when she
right,
finally gives her the gift,
right,
she's like, I know it's not going to work, but you know what I
right.
mean. But then she opens it, and it actually works,
Yeah.
and so
Because Sam fixed it.
Sam fixed it. I
Yeah.
just thought that was such a good
Oh
scene.
yeah. Yeah.
It was so sentimental and so
Mm-hmm.
touching that she could do that for her. I love
Mm-hmm.
that scene.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep. Yep. That was nice. Yep. So now this guy in London that Lillian found, who is the grandfather of this little girl at the orphanage, he sends his attorney to find out if this girl is really his granddaughter. The girl answers some of his questions correctly, but can't remember the nickname her grandfather called her. The attorney is about to leave town, thinking the girl is not his client's granddaughter, but then she remembers her nickname. And I think it was like Poppy, I think, something like that.
Yeah, Poppy.
Yeah. So I like this story. I thought this was a really nice story, like I said before.
Hmm.
And I like at the end, right before this attorney's gonna leave, he tells Lillian, "You should be proud. You reunited a family."
Yes, yes.
Yeah. So that was that
It
was
it
that
was a
was
really
nice.
good episode. Yes, I
Uh huh.
agree. And I was a little nervous for them because a little girl may not remember everything from when she was so little. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And
Yeah.
then he would just shut her down. He was just like, nope, nope, it's not her. I gotta go.
Yeah, I know.
Pretty
Yeah,
much.
he was. He was real short. Yeah.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I was just like, come on, man, like give her a chance. But so I was glad it worked out.
Oh yeah, the
Oh
music box
yeah.
belonged
Mhm.
to. It was part of the family. I remember. Yeah, the music box was the last gift Grace got from her mom. Kat is saying, or maybe both parents. Yeah, I think
Mhm.
it was. I think it was from Grace's birthday. Oh, did she got it? Oh yeah, years ago
Mhm.
she probably got it for her
Yeah.
birthday. Yeah, yeah. Okay. So let me rearrange these pictures here. Oh, here's where the bank robbery story gets good. So we find out that Ronnie borrowed money from St. Clair, this crime boss, to build his hotel.
Mhm.
He lies to Gabe and tells him he borrowed the money from Tess. So then Tess lies to Gabe to back up Ronnie's story. And
Mm-hmm.
then the St. Clair guy sends another henchman after Ronnie again to get this money that he owes him.
Yeah.
So I was thinking, Ronnie, like, what are you doing, man?
I think he just wanted Tess's protection at that point.
Whoa,
He didn't want to get in
he's
trouble either, because he
he's
thought he'd be in trouble if he admitted
yeah,
to.
getting involved though with this gangster
Hmm.
like guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
he said Tess asked him about the money, and he said, "Well, I didn't know it was stolen. I had my suspicions, but I wasn't sure."
Right.
you know, so
Right.
so he
Mhm.
kind of knew that it wasn't like
Yeah, he knew.
on the up and up.
Hmm.
Yeah,
He definitely knew.
yeah.
All
So
he saw was
now,
dollar signs.
yeah. So now we get to my favorite episode. This is the ninth episode. A reporter arrives in town doing a story on Tessa's husband, whose name is Matthew. The story is going to say how Matthew was this big hero and was killed because of bad engineering on this bridge. Gabe, oh, whoops, let me move the picture so I'm not in over. There we go. Gabe is keeping his eye on Ronnie and Tess and is tracking their every move because he knows they are up to no good. Tess
Hmm.
sells part of her land to pay Ronnie's debt to St. Clair, and Gabe finds out about this. And I think she sold this land to Lucy's father, I think is who she
I
sold
think
it
so
to.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you're right, because she was talking to him at one point,
Yeah.
and he
Yeah.
goes,
Yeah.
"Why did you want to do this all of a sudden? You've never let me buy this
Right.
before."
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tess and Ronnie meet St. Clair in the woods. Gabe follows them and sees Tess give him a pouch of money.
Hmm.
Oh, let's see. All right. Okay. Lillian tries to convince the reporter that Tessa's husband's death wasn't her father's fault. He tells her, "Get me evidence and maybe I'll believe you."
Hmm.
Lillian finds out that Hank, the rancher who works for Tess, witnessed the bridge collapse, and he was a teenager back then. He says Matthew was crossing the bridge with his cattle, and he was warned that the bridge couldn't handle that much weight and that it would collapse, but he ignored the warnings. Lillian wants to tell Tess and the reporter that her husband's death was his own fault and not her father's, but if she does, Hank will lose his job.
Hmm.
So then at the end, everyone is at this party honoring Tessa's husband. The reporter wants to know if Lillian found any evidence to change his mind about writing the story. She looks at Hank and says no. And then Hank tells the reporter, "Your big story just walked out the door,"
Hmm.
referring to Lillian.
Yes. Yes. That
Yeah.
was hard for her to do, but I think she did the right thing.
Mm-hmm.
She found out the
Mm-hmm.
truth, and she
Right.
knew her dad was innocent, but she
Right.
did the right thing, because Hank said, "I'll go forward if you want me to. I will do it for you."
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, "No, I can't."
Right.
In her
Right.
mind, I know she was like, "I can't do that to him." So,
Right.
yeah, I love that.
Right. It would have
That's
ruined his job. And it
Mhm.
also, she was thinking of Tess too. It would have ruined Tessa's image that she has of her husband.
Well, the image of her husband, and also
Yeah.
trying to, rebuild the relationship with
Right.
her and
Yeah.
Tess,
Yeah. That's right.
that
Yeah.
also.
Right. Right. Tess
Because I
already
mean,
doesn't like
it's a
him. Yeah.
small town. You'll see each other a lot.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Yeah. But I really like this scene and I like this whole storyline with this reporter doing the story and Tess finding out the truth and not saying anything. I really like this episode.
yeah, you got to see a different side of Lillian too, because you realize that her dad's, architectural work, she can actually understand it and read it.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
so that was like, oh wow, like I was impressed by that.
Uh, and now we're up to the finale, the 10th episode. We got the big showdown here in the finale here. So St. Clair comes to town and stays in Ronnie's hotel. What nerve he has. He obviously wants to be close to what happened? Oh, what happened? We lost. Oops, hold on. Lost cricket for a
Right.
second. Oh,
Mike,
there you
there
go.
I
Now
am.
you're back.
Sorry.
What
Yep.
happened?
My connection. I think we're getting storms, I think, coming in. So
Oh, oh, okay. All
not
right,
sure though.
all right. So let's see what I say. St. Clair comes to town, stays at Ronnie's hotel. He wants Tess to help him kill Mountie Gabe. She reluctantly agrees, but in the end, she double crosses St. Clair and helps Gabriel catch him.
Yep, she sure does.
Yeah, whoops.
Yeah, I love that part because you kind of got the feeling she was setting him up, but then I kind of got the feeling when Gabe was sitting on the one porch area and she
Uh
looked
huh.
over at him as they were riding out to
Yeah, yeah, I
the,
noticed that too.
you know
Yeah.
what I mean? She's like
Uh
looking
huh.
at him and didn't say anything, and I'm kind of going,
Uh huh.
I think she's
Yeah,
trying to give him a signal of
yeah.
some
She
sort.
looked over at him like, "Come on, something's happening. Follow
Mhm.
us," you know.
Exactly,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah. Yeah, so you didn't know the whole time while the episode was going on that Tess was working with Gabriel and that she was setting up the St. Clair guy. What you find out in this big showdown in the finale here, and I like she picks up the gun that's on the ground
Hmm.
and she points it at Gabriel,
Yep.
and this guy says, "Pull the trigger," the St. Clair
Right.
guy, and so then
Yes.
she moves the gun over and points it at St. Clair and says, "You sure you want me to do that?"
Yeah.
That was funny.
Exactly.
Yeah,
That was a good line.
yeah, that was. Yep, yep.
And you saw a little glimpse of her being a good person.
Uh huh. Yeah, that's right. That's right. Okay, so the girl whose grandfather is in London is afraid to get on a boat because I think her parents died in a boating accident, right? Was that the
Hmm.
reason? Yeah,
Yes, I
okay.
believe so. Yes.
Okay, yeah. So Grace decides to go with her so that she feels safe.
Hmm.
Tess sends Chuck out of town with the hot rancher Lucy, who is now Tess's foreman. He finds out from Lucy that Grace is leaving for London, which he didn't know. So he heads back to town to catch her before she leaves. Let's see. Grace plants a kiss on him, and then we see her stagecoach leaving town as everyone looks on.
Yes. Well, to go back to the one scene when he went
Hmm.
out, because him and Grace, I can't remember. I think it was because she saw him with Lucy, and she was kind of like, "Oh, well, this isn't going to work." Maybe I think I'm trying to remember exactly what
Hmm.
happened, but they weren't on the greatest of terms when he left to go out to do the ranch run or whatever they
Oh, you
call it.
mean Tess and Chuck weren't on good terms?
No, no, no.
Who?
Grace and Grace and Chuck,
Oh, Grace and
because
Chuck.
of the
Yeah,
whole
they had an
party.
argument. Yeah, yeah, they had an argument.
Yes,
What was it over? Let me think.
I think it was Lucy,
Um,
wasn't it? About
he
how.
no he stopped. They were on a ride, and he stopped to help that one guy's horse because the horse was sick, and the guy didn't want his help,
Oh, that's
and
right. And
so
she was interjecting.
yeah, so
Yes,
Grace said, "Well, why don't we just go, Chuck? Let's leave him alone. He doesn't want our
yes,
help."
yes.
And Chuck
That's right.
insisted on staying and helping this horse. So Chuck got mad at Grace because he took the other guy's side and not his side
Yes,
in this
yes.
argument about treating this horse. I think
That's right.
that was
That's
one
right.
little tiff they had. I don't know if that was the
Hmm.
one you're talking about, but that was one of them.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think you're right. And I think they just kind of didn't talk for a minute. And then
Mm-hmm.
this whole trip thing came up. And then he
Mm-hmm.
left because he wasn't happy,
Mm-hmm.
with everything going on. And he was like, this is what I need to do right
Yeah.
now. And so he left. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think that Tess sent Chuck on this cattle drive knowing that Grace
Mhm.
was leaving.
Oh, yeah. She knew she was leaving.
Yeah, I think
Absolutely.
she did. I think she did. And
She
she
kept
didn't
pushing for it. Hmm.
yeah, she didn't want him or she wanted him out of town when Grace left, I think.
Yes,
Yeah.
and knowing that her new foreman was going to be on the road with him or on the drive or the cattle drive
Right.
or whatever.
Right. And the
Um,
girl that Tess wants him to be with, I think. I think she's
yes, I
kind of
agree.
yeah. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I thought it was good of her. I mean, she told him. She didn't have to say anything to him. And she
Oh,
told him that, she was leaving. And so,
oh yeah, you're talking about Lucy? Yeah.
yes, she didn't
Yeah.
have to tell him.
Right.
She but you could see that she's a good person and she told him, and so that's when he decided he had to go.
I like how this
Right.
ending. I like how this ending scene was shot with the stagecoach.
Yes.
The camera up above the ground. You could see the
Yep.
stagecoach leaving town. That was cool.
Yeah, that was cool. Very, very cool.
So then, the season ends with a little bit of a cliffhanger when a guy rides up to Tessa's ranch and hands her a report that she asked for, and it's a report on Grace.
Yep.
So apparently, she must have requested like a background check on
Mm-hmm.
Grace,
Yep. That's what
and
I
I
was
think
thinking too.
yeah, and because she wants to dig up dirt on the sisters.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, she doesn't want her son to be with Grace.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah. Now this show originally aired in 2019, and I
wow.
was thinking if the series would have continued then, would Grace have returned?
I don't know. Maybe.
Because I was thinking, what are the writers thinking? Like, was the
Mm-hmm.
plan back then was for her to leave just permanently or
Right,
temporarily?
right.
Leave. I'm not.
Yeah,
But when I saw this ending scene, I thought I had a feeling that well, because of this ending scene,
right.
that
She'd have to come back.
maybe they were planning on Grace returning because
Mhm.
why else would they show this scene where
Exactly.
she's digging up trying to dig up dirt on her,
Right.
if she was
Hmm.
gone forever, she wouldn't
They
care.
wouldn't care.
She wouldn't have
Right.
hired someone to do a background check on her and get this report.
Right. Unless she was trying to get dirt on Lillian too. You never know. Maybe it had to do with Lillian.
Could be,
Mhm.
could
She
be.
wanted her cow back. What are you talking about, Chad?
So, Cricket, I mentioned that the ninth episode was my favorite. Did you have a favorite episode on any of these in this
I
first
think
season?
I liked. I mean, there was a couple. I liked the episode when Sam came into town and he was helping out.
Okay.
And I think the very next episode is when the bad guy was coming into town and he was protecting Lillian, I think, or Grace. I can't remember Lillian because I think what episode was that when Sam had to
Oh,
remember
Saint,
that
yeah, the
Gabe
Saint,
said it was, yeah,
yeah,
he was
the
telling, he
Saint,
said
the
stay by Lillian.
yeah, the
Yeah.
St. Clair guy came into town and he like threatened Gabe and
Mm-hmm.
said that he might go after like people he
People he
cares about.
loves.
So yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. So he knew, oh, he thought, oh, Lillian might be in trouble. So yeah,
Yes.
he asked Sam to stay with them and kind of
Mm-hmm.
watch them. And then Lillian gets a little upset when she finds
Yes.
out that Gabe asked Sam to do that.
I know. I'm like,
Yeah.
why are you upset? He was looking out for you.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I
Uh-huh.
didn't understand that. And I mean, I thought he played it off pretty well until he didn't.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
But
And
yeah,
you
so that was one of my favorites. And then the birthday episode also, it may have been the same episode. I can't remember. I think it was the
uh-huh.
very next one after that. But yeah, those were my.
And then that same episode, Sam says, "Well, maybe I wanted to be here for other reasons than just to protect you."
Yes.
Oh,
Yep.
yeah. Yeah, I think or Sam had a little thing for Lillian there.
Oh yeah, I think so too.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
she shut him down.
Mhm. Mhm.
So
All right, so that wrapped up the first season. Now, I want to get into the Christmas movie because after the
the
first
Mountie Red. You
what's
gotta you
that?
gotta go to Misty. You gotta go to Misty real
Oh, I
quick.
missed the chat. Oh, wait, what's going on in the chat here? Misty says, "Oh, Misty, oh, did she just get here?
Yeah.
So late because one of my son's medical appointment, but at least I'm here digging the Mountie red you two are wearing.
Yep. Got our Mountie stuff on, Misty.
The red surge is amazing, chat. Oh, thanks. Yeah, thanks. Where's hold on, I'll try to hold on, let me put the pictures. Wait a minute, where's the other? Oh yeah, there. If I stand up, yeah, then you can see the whole thing. Yeah, look at that. Oh, I'm blending in with my green screen.
Right? Mine's just a t-shirt, that's all. Of course,
Yeah,
yours is
cricket
too.
cricket has a little Mountie shirt on as well.
Mhm.
All right, so let's get into this Christmas movie. So
Mhm.
this Christmas movie aired in 2021 on Great American Family. So let's see, 19, 20, 20. So like 2 years, at least 2 years after the first season ended there. So this Christmas movie I really liked. I got to
I
say
do
right
too.
up front. Yeah. Oh, Misty likes your shirt.
I know, right? I'm gonna put Trevor's hopefuls on the back, Misty.
So in this Christmas movie, a couple people, visitors, come to town. One is a writer for Harper's Bazaar magazine, and he's in town to do a story on the town for the magazine's Christmas edition. And he is a friend of Maggie's, and he offers her a job as a travel writer, and he wants her to leave town with him. And so she debates this job offer throughout the entire movie, but she decides not to go in the end.
Hmm.
Abigail arrives from When Calls the Heart, and she comes with an orphan named Roy. I think she brought Roy, didn't she, with her?
Yeah, I
Yeah, I
think
think
so.
so. Yeah. Yeah, she stays with Lillian at the orphanage. And one night she dreams that Mountie Jack from Hope Valley, from When Calls the Heart, shows up, and he asks her to tell Elizabeth that he still loves her and he is
Hmm.
glad that she is moving on. And
Yes.
then this was a pretty neat scene. Then he starts to walk away and she runs after him and says Jack, and then he like disappears right in front of the Christmas tree.
Yep. Such a
Yeah.
good scene. I love that scene.
Yeah, that was a really good scene, very
It
emotional
was so
scene.
good. Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
yes. I mean, it's been how long on even like When Calls the Heart when he was gone, and then to
Uh-huh.
have him do a cameo appearance in in this movie, I was just like, that was awesome.
Oh yeah.
Oh
When
man.
yeah, this movie was big news, and this scene was big news when it premiered, because
Yes.
of Lori Loughlin and Daniel Lissing being reunited.
Yes. Yes.
And fans were so happy. And I remember when it was announced that the network was doing a When Hope Calls Christmas movie, and Lori Loughlin was going to be in it, and Daniel Lissing was going to reprise his role as Jack Thornton. I mean, the internet just broke. I mean, everyone went wild,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
everyone kept saying, "Well, how can that be? Is Jack still alive? Is he a ghost?" Everyone,
Right, right.
everyone was coming up with their
Yes.
own theories and guesses as to what was
Well,
happening.
I was hoping he was coming back. Like, I mean, I'm sorry, I was. I ain't gonna lie. His character was amazing.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I was so sad when he left When Calls the Heart. I was so sad. But
Yeah, it was shocking that they killed him off.
yeah.
Because I was thinking, like, why'd they do that? They could have just recast him with a different actor. I mean, that's common in
Yeah.
TV shows. They could have just done that.
Yeah, but you know
I don't
what?
know
Nobody
why
could
they.
play Jack Thornton. I'm
I
sorry.
don't know
Nobody
why
could
they.
replace
Anyhow,
Jack
someone else.
Thornton.
Someone else could have. Come
No,
on.
no way. Mm-mm. Nope.
Well, yeah, that was shocking that they just killed his character off. Oh, so Kat says in the chat she cried during that scene with Jack. Yeah.
Yeah, me too, Kat. I was bawling. Like, it was so emotional for me too.
Mm-hmm. So,
Such a good scene.
and somewhere along the lines in the beginning of this movie, we find out that Chuck followed Grace to London,
Hmm.
and they got married and they stayed there, and Grace opened an orphanage over there.
Yep.
So Tess, oops, let me bring the pictures down here. So let's see. Okay, so Tess, she's like kind of the Grinch throughout most of this movie. She,
Right.
yeah, she is upset that Chuck can't spend Christmas with her, and she blames Grace and Lillian for taking him away. She keeps having flashbacks of him when he was a kid and having fun around the farm. And because of her bad mood, she demands that her hot foreman, Lucy, there, and Hank work over Christmas.
Yep.
They say no way and they both quit. She eventually changes her mind near the end of the movie and has a change of heart and hires them back. And then she also donates Chuck's old bike to the orphanage.
Yep. I
So
thought that
yeah,
was really
she's
sweet.
what's that?
I said I thought that was really sweet.
Yes, that was. So yeah, she's like the Grinch in this movie. By the end of it,
Mhm.
her heart grows 3 sizes bigger, like the Grinch's or whatever it is. Um,
Yes.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So
Now,
yeah, what?
real quick, is this
Yeah.
in the movie? Because I can't remember. Was it the movie when the little boy is at the ranch and he's helping out, or was no? That was
No, that
Chuck
was
was still
during the
there.
that was during the show
Okay, yeah.
because
Okay,
Chuck's the one who brought him to the ranch.
that's right. That's
Because the,
right.
the
Okay.
little boy tries to help Ronnie in the hotel and he's breaking all the dishes
Yes.
and driving Ronnie
Yes.
nuts. Yeah.
Yes.
So then Chuck takes him to the ranch, and then we see a different side of Tess in that
Yes.
episode because she really warms up to this kid, and
Yes.
she's like a little like a motherly figure to him, and
Yes.
showing him
Yes.
around the ranch. That was really nice. That was nice.
That
Those were nice
was.
scenes. Yeah,
Yes, they were very
yeah.
nice.
So this part I love here. I mean, let me get this.
Oh yes. Yeah.
Yeah. So Ronnie has a white beard, and I love when Tess sees his beard. I think she says to him like, "Why did you grow that? So that people wouldn't recognize you."
Right. Right.
Yeah. In this. Oh, Gina's here. Hey, Gina.
Hey, Gina.
What's up? Let me see what she's saying. She says, "I love this movie." Yeah, so did I. Great American Family is airing it tonight. Yeah, they are tonight at I think 10 o'clock, I believe. I wish they would air it during Christmas, during Christmas season. Yeah, yeah. Maybe they will
Yeah.
this year since they brought back the series. Oh yeah, that's true. That's true. Good point. Yeah, so Ronnie, he wants to buy this fancy sports car. You take a look at this car. That's a fancy sports car
Hey, for
in
back then, that
1920.
was fancy.
In 1920, it's definitely a convertible.
Yeah.
and
Lots
he
of room, lots of
and he's
air, lots of room.
yeah, and he's bragging to people that it's red.
Right?
Because back then, I think all cars were black originally when they first were made.
Hmm.
Yeah. And so the guy who's trying to sell him this sports car tells him that it'll go 45 miles per hour. And he's like, wow, he's all impressed. It'll go that fast.
Right? I mean, but can you imagine though, like going from horse, drawn carriages to a vehicle with wheels?
Yeah.
I mean,
Uh-huh.
that was probably like the most amazing anything, you know what I
Oh,
mean?
yeah.
Like,
Yeah. Yeah. Yep. So his wagon breaks down in the woods, and the kids see him talking to reindeer. And so they think he is Santa Claus. I
mhm.
love that. This was so good.
Yes.
So the kids write letters to him telling him what they want for Christmas. And he winds up being Santa at this festival that Maggie organized. The kids from the orphanage sit on his lap and ask him to
Yeah.
get him or to ask him to get a pony for Roy, this orphan that Abigail
Yes.
brought with her. And so he gets emotional because of this, because all the other kids were telling him what they want for Christmas, but all the
Mhm.
kids from the orphanage,
Yes.
they all said the same thing, that they wanted him to get Roy a pony.
I know. I thought that was so sweet. I thought that was
Yeah.
you don't see that usually in a storyline. You know what I mean? It's
Uh-huh.
always what the kids want. But
Uh-huh.
yeah, in this
Yeah.
one particular though, I thought it was really good. That was really good.
Yeah.
Very sweet
Yeah.
of all the kids.
Yeah. Yep. And I really enjoyed the storyline of the kids thinking that Ronnie is Santa. I
Yes.
thought that was great. I mean, whoever came up with this idea, I think deserves an Emmy because I thought it
Yeah.
was just it was just so
It
great.
was good. And they kept going, I know it's you. And
I
he's
know it's
like,
you.
what are you
Yeah.
talking about?
I
Like he had
know.
no clue. He had no
I know.
idea.
I know. And actually, he didn't even need to put on the fake beard. He could have just used the beard he had,
Yeah, he
because
totally could. Yeah.
his natural beard there looked good.
Hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. So he looks at all the letters that the kids wrote him, and he gives up his dream of buying the sports car, and he uses the money that he was going to use on the car instead to buy a pony for Roy and gifts for all the kids that were on their lists. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was so good.
It was so good. So good.
Yeah. I really liked Ronnie. in this movie,
Yeah, I mean,
and his story in this movie.
well, yeah, because you see him being like he wanted to be greedy because he wanted his hotel to be the best hotel there ever was, and he wanted everybody to come and so
Uh
that it
huh.
would generate money. And then
Uh huh.
you see him in this whole different light at the end of the movie, at this
Yeah.
movie, and it's just he's like he turned over a new leaf. He just did.
Yeah. Yeah. That's
So
true. Oh, I gotta check the chat here. What's people saying? Oh, Gina says what? Hello. I love the Santa storyline too. Yeah, the
Mhm.
kids were sweet. Sorry, I didn't get on in time for the whole chat. Oh, that's all right. But we'll definitely listen to it all later. Oh, no problem, Gina. Mm. All right, where was I? Let me see here.
I think too, though, in this scene,
What?
I think
What?
Roy was just so because remember they kept saying miracles happen or you'll get a horse, you'll get a horse. They kept telling him, and he's like, yeah, whatever, nothing. I never get anything I want
Oh
or
yeah,
whatever.
yeah, yeah.
And I thought that was really sweet because his expression when he saw the horse, or the
Uh-huh.
pony.
Yeah, he was giving him a little bit trouble earlier in the movie. He was a little
Hmm.
troubled
Yep.
kid, and then he changed there at the end when
Mhm.
when he got this horse. Yeah. Oops. All right, let me get to the next slide here. So Maggie's friend, this writer from Harper's Bazaar, is leaving. He asks about the person she has eyes for, and she says she doesn't have anyone. He says a picture is worth 1,000 words, and he gives her a picture of her and Sam.
Mhm.
And I was like, what? I thought it was going to be a picture of her and Joe.
Right.
Yeah, because
Surprise.
I didn't even know that she and Sam knew each other.
I don't think they did. I think that was the whole point of him giving it because he was taking pictures of everybody around town and
Yeah,
he caught that image of her looking at him, I think, and that's he was like, yeah.
yeah,
Yeah,
that
I
was
did. It was like it was like a turn of events, kind of thing, like a aha moment, like what?
yeah, that was a little surprising there.
Mhm.
Yeah, so Mountie Gabe, he confesses his feelings to Lillian, and she plants a kiss on him. And then the movie ends with a picture that this writer took of the town square that is
Mhm.
labeled #1 Country Christmas Town.
Yep.
Yeah, and like I said before, I really
Mhm.
enjoyed this Christmas movie.
Yeah, it was very good.
This definitely was a good one. Yeah,
Yeah, it really
yeah.
was. Really was.
So I binge watched this whole series last month. I think we both did, didn't
Mhm.
we?
Yeah, we did. Yes.
And when I finished each episode, I was always looking forward to seeing the next episode. Like the show kept me
Yes.
watching, you
Hmm.
know?
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, it really did, and it's it is like I know I've heard it referenced as Little House in the Prairie, but it really is. I think the modern because When Calls the Heart, don't get me wrong, I feel like it's based on the same time period,
Hmm.
but I feel like in this one though, there's just something about it with all the kids, and I know she's a school teacher, Elizabeth is, but I don't know,
Hmm.
there's just something different about When Hope Calls versus When
Hmm.
Calls the Heart.
Yeah.
There's just something different, a different feeling.
Right.
Obviously, it's different characters, but
Right.
I don't know. It really does. It makes you want to see, what's to come for the sisters and the orphanage and
Hmm.
what happens to Joe and if he finds a love interest or you know what I mean? So it definitely you want to know more about
Hmm.
these characters because you just didn't get enough yet.
Yeah. Yeah. There are some parallels to this show
Mhm.
and When Calls the Heart. Like on When Calls the Heart, Elizabeth, the lead there, she is a teacher.
Yes.
And so she works with kids. So a lot of the storylines involve the kids. And on this show, Lillian and Grace, they run this orphanage. So they're around kids all day long. So a lot of the
Mhm.
storylines also involve kids. So in that
Yes.
respect, the shows are kind of similar.
Well, yeah, and they both
Yeah.
have a bounty who is hot for them.
And they
So
both, they both have bounties. Yeah. That's true. Now, I want to hear from people in the chat. I know When Calls the Heart is based on books that, what is her name? Oakley or something, I forget her name, that she wrote. But this show or When Hope Calls. This isn't based on any books, right? This is just a spin-off series that the writers who created
Came
the
up
When
with.
Calls the Heart came up with, right? I don't think this show is based on any books. I don't believe so, but we'll see what people say. Like, maybe you can correct me if I'm wrong. Oh, I got to see what Misty says. She has not. I've not seen season 1 of When Hope Calls. Oh, or this Christmas episode. Oh, she hasn't seen it. But holy moly, the photos are gorgeous and the town looks so incredibly special. Oh, okay, so she's one that hasn't seen it. Okay. I
Yeah.
can't wait. Can't wait to watch the Christmas episode tonight and season 2 premiering on Sunday. Oh, okay. All right. Well, Mel, I hope you could follow my kind of crazy recap here. Like I said, I just threw it together really quick. I hope you could follow the
Mhm.
characters and some of the stories that happened. Kat says, I totally agree with Cricket. I must confess that I like When Hope Calls much better than When Calls the Heart. Oh, okay. Okay. All right. So, some things I'm left wondering after watching this. Oh, Gina says that this show has more of a pioneer feeling to
Mhm.
me, or feeling to her, than the other show. Okay. Oh,
Sorry, my
Misty.
dog's going crazy because there's thunder and lightning coming. So sorry for the dog
Oh, I
barks.
don't. I don't hear any dog barking.
Oh, good. Well, hopefully you don't hear the thunder and lightning either.
Oh, Misty says she just started watching Great American Family last October. Okay.
Hmm.
All right. So one thing that I'm wondering, maybe you can answer this question. Well, I don't think you can. But like, where are Lillian's parents, the couple that raised her? Because they would still be alive. She's not very old. And
No, I
and
think something happened to them. I think.
I don't know. She said she grew up in that house, where the orphanage is. So
Right.
why aren't her parents like still living there in that house? That's what I was wondering throughout the entire season. I was wondering that.
I
Like,
want
what?
to say that
It's
something
I
happened to
don't
them.
think it's ever explained where they are or what happened to them.
I was just assuming that they passed away. That was my
Oh, is
assumption.
that what you figured?
That
Oh,
was my
okay.
assumption, but I swore I didn't, but I don't know. I thought maybe I heard something happen to them, but I can't remember.
Oh, okay. Okay. All right.
Yeah,
Well,
I'm not sure now. You got me wondering about that.
yeah. I was scratching my head the whole time.
Hmm.
So what I really like about this show, I like the Tess and Ronnie dynamic. Those two have great scenes together.
Yes, they do.
Yeah. And they play a really good brother and sister-in-law, you know?
Yes. Yeah,
Yeah.
she's like, "Come on, Ronnie, like seriously." Like she's the
Yeah.
big sister who's
Yeah.
like smacks him on the head and come on, like already, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. They do
Yeah.
have a good. And he
Yep.
is so funny. He's hilarious.
Mhm. Mhm.
He
And I
reminds
also
me of
what?
what's his name, Roper from Three's Company.
Oh, the Ropers. Yeah.
Not just him though, because he's always into everybody's business and he wants his place to be the best. And I
Uh-huh.
don't know why, but he kind of reminds me of him. I know I'm old school there thinking about Three's Company, but
And
yeah, he kind of does.
you know who else I really like together? I like Joe and Maggie together, like I said before. I
I
really
know,
enjoyed all
but
of their
you
scenes,
know,
and I really think they have a great friendship. I really enjoyed their friendship.
yeah, I did too. I did too, but I think the writers have a little bit different relationship for her.
Oh. Oh, so Gina thinks that Lillian's parents passed
Yeah,
away. Okay. Was it mentioned in the When Calls the Heart Christmas movie when the characters were introduced? It could have been. Yeah, I don't know. They were
could have
on
been.
When Calls the Heart. Yeah, these characters were on When Calls the Heart in one of their Christmas movies, Lillian and Grace, and they said that they were leaving to start an orphanage in another
Mhm.
town, you know. Yeah, so I do remember that. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if it's said or not. So we got to talk couples.
All right, let's talk couples, Chad. Let's do this.
We got to chat about these couples here. So during the season, Sam had a thing for Lillian. It was obvious.
Yes.
We
Yes.
already mentioned that. I kind of wanted Sam with Lillian, to be honest with
I
you.
did too. I
Yeah.
honestly thought because Gabe being a Mountie that, he's not supposed to have relationships, right? So
Uh-huh.
I was kind of thinking they're going to push her away from him and kind of push her towards Sam,
Mm-hmm.
and then make Gabe make that decision, which he ultimately did. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I kind of got that feeling too, that her and
Yeah.
Sam were kind of good for each other. I think they
Yeah.
had good chemistry.
Yeah. Yeah. I thought they
Hmm.
had good chemistry. Yeah, for
Yeah,
sure. Or another idea for Lillian, I thought of Hank, Tess's rancher. I thought they were good together too.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, definitely,
Uh-huh.
absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely.
But Maggie and Sam together, like I said, I didn't see that one coming. And
Yeah, I
Kat
didn't
in
see
the
that one
chat there
coming.
said that she didn't see that coming either.
I didn't either. I didn't see that coming.
Yeah, because Maggie and Sam during the show, like they didn't have any scenes together. I don't remember ever them having a scene together.
I don't think they did, but I think
I
at one
think,
point they were in the town and she looked over at him or something. Or he came in to pick something up, or I
well,
want to say there was.
in the Christmas movie they had a couple scenes together.
Yes.
But in the, but
And the
during the
other, yeah.
season, yeah, during the
Yeah, no,
season,
nothing.
I don't think
Mm.
they did. Because
No, they didn't. I don't think they did either.
in the Christmas movie, I remember she asked him to be Santa in this festival
Yes.
because remember Joe couldn't do it because he had that
Right.
allergic reaction to cinnamon and his lips swelled up.
Yes.
So she asked,
Yeah, I
so she
forgot
asked
about that.
Sam, and he said, "Oh no, I can't. I'm going out of town to prospect."
Right. Right. Yep.
Oh, Kat is saying, "Oh, she's happy they didn't do a love triangle."
Yeah. Well,
Oh,
they were
okay.
starting one. They were
I
starting
think
one.
they were starting one a little bit. Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. So, and I wanted Maggie with Joe is who I wanted
Yeah, I know you
Maggie
did.
with.
you
Yeah.
you wanted Maggie with Joe. Yeah, I think they had good
Yeah.
chemistry too. I mean, they did, and they were
Yeah, they
talking, and
did.
when they were looking for the gold and stuff, and
Uh-huh.
they kind of hinted like possibly, yeah.
Oh, Cat what?
Cat.
Cat says she thinks it happened off screen between season 1 and the Christmas movie. I don't know. I don't know.
They
But
found
yeah,
each other, Cat.
Maggie and Joe had some really good scenes together. Like when they were digging for gold together. I mean,
Yeah.
that was great when she was trying to help him rehab his shoulder.
Yes.
And
Yes.
like I said, like I mentioned before, when his lips swelled up from the cinnamon.
Hmm.
So I
Yeah.
thought they had, yeah, really good chemistry. Yeah, Kat agrees with me. She liked Maggie and Joe too. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know
Yep.
what the writers were thinking by all of a sudden throwing Maggie towards Sam. I didn't get that, man.
I know. Me
Yeah.
neither.
So I think it'll be interesting to see if Sam and Maggie are together this coming season.
Yeah. Well, Inquiring
Yeah.
minds want to know.
Yeah. Or if maybe they just scrap that story altogether, that storyline altogether. Who knows?
Yeah.
And it'll also be interesting to see if Gabe and Lillian are together this season.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. I got to be quiet because I've already seen the episode.
Oh, so don't say anything. Okay.
Nope,
Okay.
not saying a word. Mom's a word.
Okay. But we know that Gabe leaves town because
Yes.
Chris told us that. Gabe might
Yeah.
be around for like 1 or 2 episodes. I'm not sure how many, but he leaves town.
Yeah.
Chris said because he's hurt or something, so he has to leave town because
Hmm.
Chris comes to town and he's the new Mountie, Mountie Michael.
Right. Hmm.
Yeah. So I don't know if
Michael Fletcher.
so I don't know if
Fearless Fletcher.
I don't know if Gabe and Lillian are going to be an item or not. So we got to chat a little bit about season 2
Yes, we do.
and some of the returning characters. I know that Lillian and
Mhm.
Gabe are back. We know
Yep.
that. We know Tess and Ronnie are back, which I'm
Hmm.
happy about. And we know
Yes.
Maggie and Joe are back, which I'm happy about because
Yep.
I wasn't sure if Joe was coming back or not. And Sam is back, but a different actor is playing him.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, Kat says maybe Joe will have a new love interest. Oh, could be. Oh, Gina says she watched it too. No spoilers, but she loved the first episode. Okay, all right.
Yeah.
And I hope that Lucy comes back because that actress that plays Lucy, I think she is so attractive.
Yeah. She's pretty. She's very
Yeah,
pretty.
she is.
Yeah.
She is. She's wow. She's a knockout in my opinion. So I'm hoping we see her again.
Wow, Chad, we need to get her on your podcast.
No, you're right. That's a good thought.
There you go. See,
We need to get
I'm
her
looking
on
out
here.
for you. I'm looking out.
We need to get her. Yeah, that's a good thought. I didn't think of that.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, what's Kat saying here? Wait a minute.
Oh.
I wonder if they thought Joe was too old for Maggie. No, I don't. There wasn't an age difference, was? I didn't notice an age difference. I don't. I didn't notice one.
I mean, I didn't see it, but maybe I can see why Kat would think that though.
No, I didn't. I
Yeah.
didn't think there was much of an age difference. Yeah. So this season we are going to get a bunch of new characters.
Yes.
Yeah. So we'll see how they fit into town and how they interact with everyone. Wait, Gina says you are going. Wait, what's Gina saying? You are going to be happy, Chad. Oh, really? Oh, happy about so. Oh, about Lucy. Is she referring to Lucy?
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. All right.
Kat's like, yeah, baby, yeah.
Oh yeah, I'll have to record
We're
these
blushing
episodes
over there now,
now.
Chad. I see the pink
Yeah,
coming in your cheeks over
I'll be
there.
I'll be recording these, watching her scenes in slow motion. Okay.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, so the premiere of the second season is streaming right now on Great American Pure Flix and premieres Sunday night at 8 o'clock Eastern on Great American Family. And Cricket and I will be back next week to recap the premiere, the first episode.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's a good one. Just
It's a good
saying.
one. It's a good
Yeah.
one.
Yeah. Really
Oh,
good.
oh. Kat says she can't wait for our recap. All right,
Yes.
all right, all right. Cool, cool. So I hope some of you hopefuls will be back for our recap sometime next week. Until then, Cricket, thanks again for being here and agreeing to do all this with me. You're a real sport, even when you're getting hit, even when you're getting hit with tornadoes and everything.
I know, right? I got to go look at the radar when we get off.
All right. So until then, until next week, you keep the faith, keep smiling, keep your friends close, and keep your great American family closer.